Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to get you styled up with Stitch Fix. Shopping's hard. It's hard. With Stitch Fix, you get a stylist, though, who understands your style, your size, your budget, and they do all the shopping for you.
Wow.
This is excellent. Shopping, I'm telling you, shopping and figure out your style, it's overwhelming. Let somebody help you when it comes to getting dressed. We don't know what we're doing, so we let Stitch Fix help us out. A Stitch Fix stylist there. They know what works on us. We get the prices that make us look really good, and it feels good. You get some confidence boost walking around knowing that you're looking decent here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we just give the stylist our sizes, style, budget preferences. We order boxes when we want, how we want, no subscription or any of that required. And they send called Just For Me pieces as well. Like, maybe you'd like this, and it's awesome. Outfit recommendations, styling tips. You keep what you love, you send back the rest. It's super easy.
Yep.
You can do it, and we are doing it because it's excellent. Personal styling for everyone. Get started today at stitchfix.com/STM. That's stitchfix.com/STM.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit more about Rocket Money. It's the start of a new year. It's the perfect time to get organized, set your goals, prioritize what matters most. And for me, top priority is getting myself together here. Financial wellness, doing that, which that feels important, you know? Just feels like adult stuff that you have to do. And thanks to Rocket Money, my goals feel achievable now. They show me all my subscriptions in one place, help me easily cancel ones I forgot that I've been paying for, which happened to me. Absolutely happened to me. I had, for years, I was paying for something. I was like, what is going on here? Rocket Money found it and saved me lots of money since then, because it's been a while. So they did a great job here. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder today. That's rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder. rocketmoney.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
Hi, I'm Ashley Flowers, and if you're like me and grew up watching America's Most Wanted and reading Nancy Drew, then hi, you're a crime junkie. And I bet that passion for solving mysteries never went away, which is why we've assembled a team of reporters to dig deep into all the cases we still obsess over. Each Monday, my best friend Britt and I will bring you a case that you won't be able to stop thinking and talking about. So join us by listening to Crime Junkie wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hello, and welcome back to Small Town Murder Express.
Yay! Choo-choo!
Yay, indeed, Jimmy. Yay, indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I'm Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us. All aboard the murder train, leaving the station. Here we go, chugging along.
Black
and
soot.
We were laughing coming on here, so it's going to be a fun one, I'll tell you that. Very quickly at the top of the show, you need to go to shutupandgivememurder.com. Get your tickets to live shows.
Let's go.
Boy, they're coming out everywhere, by the way, live shows. For actual live shows, the rest of the tour going on sale March the 3rd.
Hey!
We are jacked, all of them. Chicago, new shows announced. Dallas, Boston, New York coming any minute now. So get your tickets in there. Chicago's a big venue. That will be
what day?
Our biggest show ever. I have no idea when Chicago is. It's in August.
No. When are they on sale
March
again?
3rd.
One more
March
time.
3rd. March
There
3rd. Get your tickets. We cannot wait. And also, right now, you can get your tickets for the virtual live show, April 20th. Can't make it to a live show. We're not going to be where you are. Maybe you're in another country. You can do this just like a live show. And our live shows, we're comics, so this is not. So it's not a lecture. If no one's laughing for 30 seconds, we're very uncomfortable. So it's a comedy show. It's 2 hours of breaking your ass down with comedy and murder and dick jokes, and you're going to love it. shutupandgivememurder.com. And closure. That's an inside joke. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Patreon.com/crime and sports. Get all your bonus stuff. Huge back catalog. Anybody $5 a month or above, you're going to get it all. And every other week, you're going to get 2 new episodes, including this week, which for crime and sports, we're going to talk about And One, the brand. And if you were alive in the 90s and early 2000s, you know of And One because it was everywhere. The mixtapes, the shoes.
Those shorts.
Can't beat it. So we'll talk all about that. The rise and fall. How do you end up from being one of the biggest brands in the world to now being like $22 at Walmart? How does that happen?
Damn joke.
We'll talk about it. And for Small Town Murder, a very crazy episode, we're going to talk about sex in the People's Temple, meaning Jonestown and pre-Jonestown. What happens when one guy controls the sex lives of 1,000 people? Weird shit. Let's find out. Patreon.com/crime and sports is where you get all of that. Let's get into this, Jimmy. We have a lot of murder to get to, but before we get to that, I think it's time to sit back.
Yeah.
Where are you right now, everybody?
Where are you?
I don't care where you are.
Is it uncomfortable?
Is it? Yeah, that's what I mean. Is it someplace? Is it someplace? You know what? Maybe you're at the bank applying for a small business loan. I'd like you to knock the picture of the spouse and kids right off the desk in front of you, hop right on top of it, kick the laptop aside, arms to the air, look down at this scared soul and shout, "Shut up and give me murder." Let's do this, Jimmy. What do you say?
Okay.
Let's go on a trip, shall we?
Yep.
All right. We are going on down to North Carolina this week. Oh, baby. Let's do it. Last one down there was the vampire incident there. The smooth lover man vampire with the sisters, and that was a wild one. So.
Oh, yeah. And the trailer?
All of that.
Bus?
The trailers and buses and RVs and kids running around. This week, we're going to High Point, North Carolina here.
Oh.
It is a bigger town now. Now it's 113,000 people. Back when this happened, it was about 60,000 people. So it was a smaller place. And this kind of happened out also, not really in the middle of everything. Median household income here is about $43,000. Median home price, $172,000. So everything's just scaled down a little bit from the averages. A little bit of history here because there's some interesting stuff to get to with the other things here. Mainly English Quakers and German immigrants came here before 1750.
Okay.
And then it became a major manufacturing center in the late 1800s. Tobacco and textiles they're pumping out.
Really?
Clothes and smokes, apparently, there.
That is North Carolina.
That's it. Yeah, it's in kind of a centralized location in North Carolina, too. So it was good for, it was a good go-between place for shipping stuff. You know, your lumber driver could stop here and take a leak.
Strategic, yeah.
Strategic. John Coltrane from here.
Is that right?
Damn, yeah, this place will give you some soul, apparently. There you go. Not bad. Reviews of this town. This is where we got to get to, because these reviews, man, there are some different reviews and some people think different shit about this town.
Not everybody in agreement?
And by the way, again, these are not our reviews.
Right.
These are people's reviews who write them, and then we're reading them.
How did that...
So,
I'd love to know how anybody listened to this and got that misconstrued. These guys wrote these reviews. How would we have so many varying opinions of this ourselves?
Not to mention, we're not agreeing or disagreeing. We're making fun of the review, not the place necessarily. So
I don't care.
That's the thing. Hey, we don't care. Small Town Murder. We don't care. Put that right on the poster. We don't care. Calm down. So here's 5 stars. High Point was a rundown small college town with not much to do. A majority of the businesses were closed and or run down, meaning most entertainment had to be found on campus. There's a college. That's the other reason why we're doing this, because a lot of the population is college. I don't count those people in this.
Is this review about to say, and then?
Well, it sounds like the story of a town, doesn't it?
Sounds like a trailer for a movie.
It does. In a world where a town was a rundown small college town with nothing to do. The university did a good job at keeping students entertained, but it would be easy to get bored for many students. I personally don't mind being a part of the cross-country team. I run aimlessly, so what do I give a shit?
Can't wait to run out of here.
We frequently traveled to surrounding areas for practice and competition purposes, which provided an appreciated change of scenery. A favorite location to visit was just west in Winston-Salem and at Salem Lake, where we would frequent for our long runs many weeks. What is this, a guide to cross-country running around here? As High Point University continues to build more and more around the actual city of High Point, it will be interesting to see how these things change. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it. Here's four stars. Needs a lot more to do, but still a nice place to live. The restaurants could be a lot better too. We need a Dave and Buster's or something.
Is that what they said?
They said we need a Dave and Buster's or something. So this town is just a Dave and Buster's short of being really attractive to live in, apparently.
Imagine living somewhere where you're like, fuck, at least a Dave and Buster's.
If only we had a Dave and Buster's, for the love of God. Dave, Buster, someone listen to me and hear my prayers.
That's
Jesus.
hysterical.
God of skee ball, help me. Here's 3 stars.
Yeah.
I have been living in High Point for 5 years now, and everything have been excellent.
Have it.
I'm glad it have. I'm glad it have, my friend. Good for you.
Why is that so funny?
I don't know. It's such a minor mistake, and it can happen to anybody with a type, autocorrect or something. But it's so funny. It makes you really think that this review doesn't matter. You know what I mean?
Just disregard the rest of this.
Love the city, love the place, really close to a lake. What is this, a fucking poem now? Love the city, love the place, really close to a lake. But, all capital letters, have been waiting for 3 months. The city hold on, this is hard to read.
All right.
Have been waiting for 3 months, that the city come pick up the loose leaves. And, ... Still waiting when I call the city, they said all the time.
What?
Next week, ... 5 dots now, and nothing is happening. Let's see for how long I have to wait. We are in January. Let's see. We'll keep reporting. Well, thank you. We'll check back periodically about this man's leaves and make sure they're picked up.
I'm worried that he may have died from whatever head injury he has.
There's something bad going on here. All right, here's 1 star, and there's a lot of 1 stars, by the way. One calls it the 5th circle of hell.
Yeah.
Here's one. We'll skip that one. It's a 1 star with that.
I love those because how many circles are there? Because some people say the 7th, some people say the 3rd. This one's the 5th.
Maybe there's 5, and they're saying there could be 10, and they're saying this reminds me of the 5th particular circle.
All right.
1 star. I'm a 10-year transplant. Where do I start? The trash. There's litter everywhere. Not the people, the litter. The crime, the lack of things to do. No shopping unless you, all caps, love a picked through Ross and TJ Maxx.
Yeah.
There's a mini Target. Oh, well then.
What?
A mini Target. I don't know what that is.
What is that?
Like just on a street corner, some bodega-sized Target.
Pop-up Target?
Yep. Dilapidated, abandoned buildings everywhere. The money-grubbing government stole downtown for the furniture market and left the residents with nothing. There is actually no downtown, just furniture showrooms closed to the public. I can't wait to get out. Save yourself.
Why?
Wow. Things to do, the High Point Furniture Market. That's what there is.
Dead serious.
They're dead goddamn serious.
But it's not open to the public.
It says there's over 10 million square feet by roughly 2,000 exhibitors through 180 buildings. So apparently...
It's like an IKEA.
They have a big thing for 2 weeks in the spring. 80,000 people come from over 100 countries to look at furniture.
Holy shit.
That said, let's talk about some murder, shall we?
Okay.
All right, there's so many more reviews we could have done. We could have really went a long time with those. So, but this is a good case. We need to talk about it. Let's talk about a guy, first of all, here. Let's talk about Fred Brown.
Yeah.
Big bad Freddie Brown. Frederick Chester Brown Jr., actually.
Okay.
A junior. That's always a good sign. June 14th, 1945 is his date of birth. Mm-hmm. And he was born and raised in, I guess, Silar City, North Carolina. Silar City. Siller. It could be anything. That could be anything. And people be like, I can't believe he didn't know that one. Crazy.
It's only 5 letters, James.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
This is east of or southwest of Greensboro. He grew up. He joined the U.S. Army in Vietnam.
Yeah.
So he joined up, and he was at the Non-Commissioned Officer Academy in Fort Sill, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And while he's in Oklahoma, I guess being trained to be an officer here, he meets a 21-year-old young lady at this moment in time named Patricia DeRosa.
Oh.
So he meets her. Sounds like an Italian broad. Sounds like
Patty.
Oh, hey, Patty. Oh, Patty. When is the eggplant parmesan going to be fucking done? What are we doing here? Come on. It's 4 o'clock on Sunday. We ain't eating yet. What's happening? So Patty over here, Patty DeRosa. Pat, she goes by, though.
Okay.
They meet. By the way, she is the commanding officer's stepdaughter.
Oh, shit.
So you want to be extra P's and Q's with that one, you know.
Or extra under the radar with that one.
Yeah, well, he's got to be. He tells the truth and asks permission and all that shit. But and you kind of have to, and you better be nice. That's the thing. You can't leave her crying on the porch or anything. You're going to be.
Don't you stand her up.
You're going to be scrubbing something. You're going to be scrubbing something with a toothbrush if you mess with this girl. There's a lot of pressure.
Peel potatoes with a spoon.
Here's a spoon. There's a pile. Enjoy. Let's go. God damn it. So they end up. Now she was her mother. She was raised by a single mother, Patricia, and then later on her mother married. 3 daughters in her family, so she is one of 3. She's very close with her sister Sheila, who we'll talk about, who's 8 years younger than her.
Okay.
They're very close.
Okay.
8 years. That can be because I have an aunt and a cousin who are both 8 years older than me, and I was always close to them. They were more like older brother, sister, and I don't know. It was like they were old enough to not be annoyed by a little kid, you know what I'm saying, and to kind of be nice to them. Any closer, they would have probably beat me up or done something bad.
But your brother's much younger than you too, and I guess. But were you guys close your whole lives, or did it take a while?
No, because
Till adulthood. Being back and forth across. The country
I was never. I moved back and forth a bunch of times when I was a kid, and then they lived across the country. So it wasn't until I really moved till we.
Babied and taken care of, and you've got to be salty and angry that you're not getting everything.
Look at you with your nice stable home, fucking dick. Yeah.
Look at you with your smiles and nice birthday parties.
Look at this. Look at you. Your parents together. That's nice, isn't it? Yeah.
Your married parents, you fucking.
You feel real comfortable and included in the home, don't you? You do, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard not to resent that kid.
Yeah, not his fault. Not anybody's fault.
Not at all.
Everybody doing their thing, but as a kid, you're like, you sons of bitches. Yeah. You become comedians.
Every time
and
you see him, you got to be like, fuck you.
Yeah. And that's how you get like Jimmie and James's. Yeah. That's how they pop into the world.
That's how we grow up.
You bitter and you go, look at this one. Look at him.
This asshole.
Look at this big wheel that this cocksucker's got. That's when you're 5. You're like, look at him. And you start making fun of it and making fun of him because that's all you got. That's your only recourse.
This is frustration and anger coming out. I still love you. I fucking hate you.
Oh, that's what it is. Not your fault. It's fine. It's good. So, Pat and Fred here, the meet there, they are married within 6 months. They date for 6 months, marriage. So when you got the commanding officer's daughter, you better make an honest woman out of her back then, or you better not be involved pretty much because, like I said, that's a dangerous thing for him. Now, in the Army, he got sent to live in different countries and different states, and they go all over the place. They end up with 2 kids, these 2, a son and a daughter, and they stay together. So this is, all through the 70s. We get into the 80s. They're still together. By 1988, Fred retires from the Army. He's been in the Army the whole time. He's a career guy. He retires as a major.
Wow. It's a big deal, right? I don't know the rankings, but that sounds good.
It sounds good. They made a show called Major Dad. I know that.
Yeah.
And in that, he had like a dress uniform, and he seemed, they had a decent house. He seemed to be of a At least a medium above a medium rating, I feel
Yeah.
like. Yeah, it's somewhere
There
in
was
the
Major Payne, where one of the Wayans brothers goes to a school and beats the shit out of children. There's that.
yeah, there's that. Is it right before Colonel? Does it go Major, Colonel, General? Is that how it works? It's
What
up
about
there.
Captain?
I think it's up there.
How high's Captain? There's Lieutenant, which is
That's
nothing.
lower. That's lower. Captain feels like just above
Yeah.
mediocre. That feels like below major.
Yeah.
We know.
Lieutenant seems like you
Don't
could
get
bang
mad
that
at us
person.
because we don't know. Yeah, Lieutenant, you could flirt with them probably.
Yeah.
I feel like
Major
anything
feels
above
like
that,
a big deal. Yeah.
Major feels like you're in trouble. If you get called into their office, you're either it's something really good or really bad,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
It's nothing in between.
I think Major's above Captain, right? Does it go Captain?
Yeah,
Major,
that was what I
General?
would say.
I think so. Yeah.
No, the Colonel's in there. Colonel.
Oh, Colonel,
Right,
yeah.
Colonel's right before General in the Army. I
Captain,
believe,
Major,
if I'm not
Colonel, General.
mistaken.
That's got to be right.
I love when we put together a theory with no facts backing it whatsoever, and then we go, "That sounds like it's probably right." We move on. Like
Let's turn that paperwork in. We're done.
We do that all the time. Small town murder. We don't care. Remember, that's what you got to keep in mind all the time. We care about murder facts. Other than that, the rest of it, we try our best. No. We don't imagine that if I studied the whole Army hierarchy for this episode too. It's like there's enough murder to figure out in this. Yeah. So he gets a job in '88. They were, like I said, he retires as a major. They settle in High Point, North Carolina. That's where they end up. He gets a job teaching business at Guilford Technical Community College.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a community college that's technical or if it's just technically a community college. I'm not sure how that is, but
technically you'll graduate.
It's technically a community college, but it's sort of just in a field. We just you got to bring like your own, like a camping stool or something to
This
use.
is where the Target used to be.
Yeah, it's here. Now Pat worked in real estate and also taught real estate at Randolph Community College in Asheboro. So they both do teaching. She does real estate. Pat has high blood pressure. Pat has a lot of health problems.
Oh boy.
She's a heavy smoker or was a heavy smoker. So she had high blood pressure and diabetes to begin with. So
shit.
Yeah. So not the best combination for health. High blood pressure, diabetes, and smoking mixed together. Is not terrific here. And so she had open heart surgery in 1990.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I mean, they're only in their 40s. She had
cracked
open
the chest plate. Oh,
that's a big one. And back then, too, 1990, that was a bigger deal than it is now. They're much better with stents and things can be done a little easier now. She ended up having to she lived after the surgery, her whole convalescence she spent with her mother in Alabama. Okay. So, yeah, that's where her family lives. And her sister Sheila lives down there. So she spent a lot of time with Sheila while she was getting better and all that sort of thing. So her health starts to return.
Okay.
She comes back to North Carolina to, live back with her husband and Fred and everything like that.
Get back to it.
But she's very nervous. She's very worried about her future now. The health scare really, it didn't give her the point of view of, every day is a gift now. And her thing was, oh, Jesus Christ, you could die any day now. That was her thing. She took the opposite thing of, the usual way that people take a near-death experience. They go, holy shit.
Both of those lead to healthier living, right?
Well, for her, yes, it does. It makes her anxious. So she needs to find something to help her relax, something to do, something to focus her energy on rather than just think about whether she's going to drop dead any minute or not.
Where'd she go with that?
Well, she ends up, I don't know, Jimmy, everybody out there in small town murderland, I don't know how this happens all the time. We don't look for things that have certain elements to them, but I don't know why birds always pop up in our stories. We have a T-shirt that has all the murder birds, the pocket robin, the meth falcon, the parrot, all of them. She finds her solace in breeding exotic birds.
Not just bird watching, she wants to breed them.
We're talking all over the house, there's birds.
Oh, my God.
Her friend said she had all these exotic birds all over the house. There was 50, 60, something like that she was keeping there. All sorts of birds, dude,
Thanks a lot,
everywhere.
Marlboro.
Holy shit, that's so many birds, man.
It's so loud.
It's so loud. And one of them, her kind of prize is her African gray parrot, which is the bird that said, don't shoot, and solved a murder for us before.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens with these murder birds, man. I'm telling you.
Smart.
This is crazy. These birds, her birds are, we'll find out here. I'll tell you all about it. So
All right.
Fred wasn't quite as into the birds as she was. Shocker.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. He wasn't real into the chirping and didn't really want the whole house to be a bird sanctuary. Just wasn't into that.
Especially when he gets out of the shower and they're commenting on his dick.
A couple of birds. I know it's cold in here, but Jesus Christ, Fred. That's a lot to take from a bird. You know what I mean? You don't want to.
All the abuse.
Yeah, like, hey, fuck you, man.
Hey, man, I'm doing what I can.
Can't be
Look
comfortable
at yours,
in my
you
own
little
home.
fucker.
Yeah, can't be comfortable. I'm a girl. God damn it. So I'll kill this bird. I swear to God, I'm going to strangle it. Thing's a little cocksucker. And the only thing I know about birds is this, because I've never had pet birds.
Yeah.
I know my cousin has birds. My cousin Ian inherited my grandmother, racist Nan's birds. Yeah. So she had these birds, and birds live a long time.
They do.
And my stepmother
They'll outlive you.
My stepmother gave her like new birds, not even old birds, when she was like 86 years old. So these birds are going to live another 10, 12 years, 15 years. And my cousin has them now. And he's like, I'm fucking birds. I don't, I'm not into birds, but I feel responsible for these birds because they're
around here.
My grandmother's birds. Apparently, he told me, I don't know anything about this, but he said there's dry birds and there's wet birds.
What?
Okay, I guess wet birds are the type of birds that have like oils and shit, so they don't have as much like bird dust coming off them all the time and like dander and feather shit and all that kind of thing. And then there's dry birds who are just, you could see a cloud around them in the sun. Just always, like if they shake off, there's always a cloud of shit around them.
Pigeons are dry birds, yeah?
I don't know. I just know I think they're cockatiels is what he has, and those are dry birds. And he's like, God damn it, why are these kind of birds? So 50 or 60, she's probably got a mixture in there. I don't know what's going on. So
kid in my neighborhood had that typical blue and yellow parrot, whatever the fuck that thing is, with the white face.
Yeah, one of those.
Named him Larry, obviously.
Yeah.
And it used to say Larry. What's your name? And then it would say Larry. It was the most annoying fucking thing on the planet.
It's a lot. Imagine that times 60 going on. So Fred, here's a quote from a coworker of Fred and a friend of his. Quote, Fred was definitely annoyed by the birds. I think the first few were okay, but as she continued to get birds, yes, it was quite annoying to him.
She's now a hoarder of birds.
We have 60 birds. That's a lot of birds. I'm sorry. 2-3 birds. All right, my wife's getting better. This is good for her. 60 birds.
Now
what are we doing
balancing feed time, right? 60 in a day?
Are you cooking these? What are we doing? How are these? Are you selling them?
Are we turning this?
Are we flipping birds here or what? Is this just a bird house now? So Fred, though, because his wife was trying to get better and he's trying to get along.
No? Yeah.
He says, fine, learns to live with them. Okay. I can deal with these birds. He even agreed to build an extension onto their home.
What?
For birds. A bird extension. Just a bird house on the house for all the cages.
God. If you're building more on your house just for your hobby's out of control.
Yes, especially if it's a shitload of birds.
Right. If your hobby is alive.
Yeah. It's not like a workshop because they're going to make antique furniture, they're going to restore antique furniture. They're going to make something, I don't know, fishing flies or none of that shit. This is a whole
just
house part.
Them. Oh, God.
Wow. So now she said she would tell everybody that her husband didn't like her birds and especially didn't like her African gray parrot. Obviously.
He's annoying. Yeah.
Now, she would raise the birds. She did sell some of them. Some of the birds she sold for $2,000.
Holy shit.
Back in, 91, we're talking 90, 91. Yeah, these are exotic. She not just run-of-the-mill pet store birds she's got here.
Good goddamn bird.
It's a nice bird, I guess, there. So that's something. Also, they have a bit of a disagreement over her real estate activities. Fred apparently apparently there was a beef between Pat and her partner in a real estate company they had, and Fred told her that her partner was right and that she was wrong. And
Fred, take
you
it
should
easy, man.
listen to your partner because they're smarter than you, essentially, is what they said, what Fred said, which pissed her off, obviously.
Sure.
Yeah, one of her friends said she was very upset that Fred was on the side with the partner and not her side, and that caused her to lose her position in the business and lose money.
Oh, my God.
Somehow Fred's opinion on this board of directors, he's got the deciding vote of who goes down, and he did an old thumbs down with his wife and was like, sorry, Pat.
Sorry about it. See you in bed.
It's home with the birds for you. So, also, Fred did not get along with her family at all.
Oh,
We're talking all of the family there.
nobody.
The family didn't like him ever.
Okay.
They just hated him. And he apparently, when she was in the hospital in 1990, they didn't talk to him at all for the heart surgery thing. And he noticed that he was on one side of the room and her whole family was on the other side of their bed. And they wouldn't talk to him. So you notice that after a while.
Yeah.
I don't think they like me. I don't know what it is. It's weird.
It's very strange. There's a body here who we all care about. Everybody's on one side of her. I'm alone over here.
Yeah. I mean, I did scarf down her.
Indicator.
I did scarf down her hospital meal when she went to the bathroom. I know everybody saw that, but that shouldn't be that big of a deal, right?
Hospital stuffing is delicious.
It was just good. I like that cafeteria food. I can't get enough of it. So this is the environment we're living in here. It's full of birds and hate and acrimony and
Holy
tension.
Shit.
Here's a friend who said, quote, Fred was trying to appease Pat in making the renovations to their house, even though it was creating a lot more debt than he wanted to have, obviously.
Yeah, that's expensive.
Definitely. And they said at one point when he was talking to, I believe this is his accountant, they said that a situation came where he came to my office and talked about what he was afraid may happen. And he just said to me point blank, I would not be surprised if Pat didn't get a contract out on me. What? So, yeah, he jumped right to that. Like, she's real pissy lately. I'm surprised. She's going to hire somebody to kill me, which is it's a big jump, probably.
She's trying to get rid of me now.
That's a big jump,
Yeah.
But Fred would never consider divorce, saying it went against his beliefs. He believed that you got married, you're married.
I said it, and I meant it.
That's it. Yeah, God damn it. Now, a former housekeeper, they have a lot of housekeepers, by the way.
Really?
In a house with 60 birds and all this tension, housekeepers come and go. I mean, they're not going to stick around.
Are they housekeepers or zookeepers?
Both. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? You know you're picking up bird shit at some point here. So
when your housekeeper shows up in Banana Republic and a hard helmet,
looking like Curious George's fucking handler. Yeah.
that fucking safari hat.
The hell's his name? I don't even remember. John or some shit.
Wasn't he the man in the yellow coat? Wasn't that his handler?
Yeah, him, and then he had the little monkey, the Curious George.
Yeah. But I don't think he had a name. I think it was just the man in the yellow hat or yellow suit, yellow coat.
Yeah, I guess maybe
Something yellow.
Yeah,
I don't think he had a name.
So this motherfucker takes a monkey into his home, takes care of this little bastard.
Doesn't even give us his name.
Doesn't even this thing doesn't care enough about him to even find out his name.
Nope.
Wow, I'm done with Curious George. I'm done with him.
Anybody that takes a monkey and refuses to disclose their identity, that's a scary person.
I'll read no more of these books. Well, the monkey's ungrateful, or he's hiding a lot. One of the two. So
maybe
I'm
the
not sure
monkey
which
is
one.
causing so much mischief because this man is a terrible human being.
Didn't he just take the monkey from the jungle in this too?
I think so.
Which probably the monkey was fine where it was. So you know what? This guy's a dick.
Yeah, it's a bad man.
This is a story of a nameless man who kidnaps a monkey, holds it hostage, and doesn't even tell it his name.
Why do you want this monkey, sir?
Scary individual. We know why.
Oh, you know why.
We know why. It's gross. I just know that much. Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you about the safest sponsor ever, Simply Safe. Absolutely. These people will keep you safe. It's amazing. You know that every 26 seconds a burglary takes place in the United States, according to the FBI. That means that by the time this podcast is over, dozens and dozens of homes will have been targeted, ransacked. God knows what happens here. So protect your home before it's too late with Simply Safe proactive security system. Simply Safe helps stop threats before they even have a chance to break in. Named Best Home Security System by U.S. News and World Report 5 years in a row. And by us for about the last 8 years as well. If you trust us, believe me, you want Simply Safe. So visit simplysafe.com/small to claim 50% off a new system with professional monitoring plan and your first month free. That's simplysafe.com/small. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Now back to the show.
Hey everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Sono Bello. You know, the most known secret with celebrities and influencers and all these famous people is so many of them have had lipo. They've had lipo, whether it's a little touch-up here or a total makeover. Yeah. Nobody has a perfect body. That's the thing. No. They may look like it on TV, but there's things that help that. Absolutely. Lipo now has changed, and Sono Bello's been at the forefront with using LAL technology and getting those beautiful and natural outcomes for each person. Looking real natural. Our friends at Sono Bello are offering their best deal. You're now included in their winter savings event, but appointments are limited, so please get on this. Sono Bello doctors are masters in micro laser fat removal, a brilliant technique that removes stubborn fat permanently wherever your problem areas are. Tummy, love handles, thighs, arms, it's gone in one comfortable visit. Eating healthy and workouts are great. Keep doing that, but if you want to lose that stubborn fat in one visit, check out Sono Bello. Save big during their winter savings event. Schedule your free consultation now at sonobello.com/smalltownmurder. That's SONOBELLO.com/smalltownmurder.
Now back to the show.
So, one of the former housekeepers said that she was hired after Pat's surgery. She said she often heard Pat verbally abuse Fred.
Really?
Multiple times. She'd yell at him all the time. The
lady had her chest sawed open. She's probably not going to be chipper.
Yeah, I can understand her being a little grumpy.
Yeah.
Two other women who cleaned the house for them after Patricia's surgery said they overheard Patricia Brown curse at her husband on several occasions. But we don't know if she's right. That's the thing. We don't know if he's done something stupid or, he's fucked up. Who knows what he's done? We don't know.
Is she Italian? Sometimes she just loves
That's the other thing. If her name's Pat DeRosa and she's fucking Italian, she's just going to yell at you a lot. She just
loves. That's how
she one of the reasons.
Loves hard.
Trust me. One of the reasons I said I don't think I'm marrying an Italian girl because I don't really feel like being yelled at that often. even if it's not in a mean way, it's like, okay, stop yelling at me. It's just a lot of yelling. Trust me. I grew up in a house with a lot of yelling and just going, I think I can. I'm going to quiet this down when I get older, I think.
I super like it.
Yeah, because you didn't grow up with it. Yeah. You didn't grow up with that and then the TV on fucking volume 65 to go over the din while they're all yelling at each other. It's so loud. I want to sit quietly for 5 minutes. Just leave me alone. You grew up going, I want some action.
Somebody care about me.
Yeah, you grew up going, I want some action. I want some stuff around. And I was like, can I get away from these people? So they also, the second housekeeper in this one, Addie Collins is her name. She said she worked for the Browns for only 4 days. And she had to quit because of what she called the confusion in the house. And someone later said, what do you mean by confusion? And she said, well, the Browns are always fighting. And I didn't like one of the birds that was there either. Out of the 60, she didn't get along with one of them. They said, why didn't you like the bird?
Yeah.
Quote, one of the birds made a racial slur I didn't like.
Oh, my God.
First of all, which racial slur are you teaching your bird? Because birds, you know what? That's at least in a bird, that's taught. We know that for a fact.
For sure. That's learned.
Birds aren't born racist, first of all. So what slur did you teach them? Number one, that says a lot about your character. Yeah. Number two, is it funny? Is it self-deprecating? Is it guinea? You know what I mean? And maybe she taught it that. Maybe she wanted to throw it at me. Call me a wop. Let's do it. We don't know. But
was it aimed at you? Did they clearly say something behind your back?
That's the thing. Or is it, did this bird know what racial slur to throw at what person?
That's scary.
Does it know multiple racial slurs, said, you're a whatever, you're black, and then throw the N-word at him, or was like, this one looks Hispanic or something, and then... You know,
something else.
That's what I mean. Does it have a
Does it have a Rolodex of different ones to pitch out?
What's this bird's racial vocabulary is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And
or was it just saying one over and over and over
does
again?
It know one?
Yeah.
And it happened to be they hit the jackpot, and that's the housekeeper we got. I don't know. And that's what she taught the bird?
The slot machine rolled sevens, and it happens to be you.
And you turn around and said, fuck did you just say? This bird.
It said it 3 times. I know what it said now.
I'm looking right in its eyes. Look at him. I can see it. So is that what's happening? Because these birds, I don't know what it is about small town murder and birds, but it's blowing me away. So here's what ends up happening. Enter Sheila, okay? Mm-hmm. Sheila's name, everybody calls her Dee Dee, by the way, so we'll call her Dee Dee.
I could see that.
That's the younger sister, Dee Dee. She works at a tool and die factory in Alabama.
That's a tough broad.
Dee Dee's a tough broad down there. I'll tell you something else. Hey, Dee Dee. Oh, look at this.
She's making threads and steel, that Dee Dee.
Yeah, she's definitely a member of the Pink Ladies in Greece. She's one of those.
She's a union member. That's for sure.
Oh, that's for sure. Card carrying. So now Pat, in March or April of 1990, right after her surgery, she contacted her sister, Sheila, Dee Dee, and her brother-in-law, Dee Dee's husband, Leroy. Leroy Wenzel is his name. Yeah. They live down in New Hope, Alabama, and she asks, hey, Dee Dee, Leroy, would you happen to know anyone who would be willing to kill my husband, Fred? Anybody about that? I mean, just throwing it out there. If you know anybody, if someone's got a feeler out looking for work.
How far post chest crack are we?
Pretty close. She's just putting her bird collection together. She's just.
Oh, boy.
I don't think he's decided to build the extension on the house yet, so maybe it'll go away. We don't know. Maybe it'll turn into a standoff. So now Leroy, in an article, by the way, is described as, and I have to quote him, quote, Leroy Wenzel, a drug-smoking mechanic known to drink 3 cases of beer a week.
I think we found out who taught that bird some words.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't been up there, but he would be a guy who would, a drug-smoking first of all. A drug-smoking mechanic drunk from Alabama would probably teach him something, but
if it's just weed, we got to specify what drug, because if it's something utilizing a light bulb, that's a bad person.
Well, he's a guy volunteering for murder duty, so I got to think it might be more than weed, possibly. Leroy's like, well, I'll figure it out. Okay. So Pat meets with them and in Alabama when she's down there convalescing with her mom. And she said, well, this is where my house is, and let's plan this out. We could do this. She said, I'll give you $1,000 up front, down payment. Mm-hmm. And you could trust me. We're related here for later. And then I'll pay you another $30,000 once it's over and I get the insurance money. So let's do this. Hands in the middle,
Go team.
Yeah, go team. Woo.
We're going to do everything that indicates a conspiracy was afoot.
Let's make sure there's
look weird when I pay you $30,000 in 3 months.
Everybody, let's make sure there's a paper trail here. We really want this to be connect these dots pretty easily for a jury. So after this, Leroy, pretty much in the next few days, starts driving to North Carolina. I'm going to do this. On his way, he decides that he can't continue and do this. What is this? This is crazy. I'm driving to kill this fucking guy. What am I doing?
PTO for this. This is crazy.
So he called Pat and said he couldn't do it. I can't do it right now. Mm-hmm. So they said, okay, well, we'll work on it at another time. Maybe we'll come up with a better plan. So the first idea was to kill him in the house where they live in High Point. So Brown here, Pat, she drew a diagram of the house showing the location of the back door, the fence. This is where the dog will be. If you go over here, the dog can't get to you, shit like that. So Leroy said that he goes to follow through again and lost his nerve again and ended up just driving to Pennsylvania instead and went to see his parents rather than killing Fred.
That's an awfully big detour.
I was just going to say, to go from, I'm going to go to North Carolina. You know what? Reading, Pennsylvania doesn't sound bad. They're not close to each other.
No.
They're not.
Up north.
No, it's not like you were going to go to, Scottsdale and you decided to go a little farther and go to Holbrook or something.
Right.
This is a different story. So a little while later, Leroy and Sheila visit Pat in North Carolina, and they meet Fred Brown at that moment. So even meeting him, they're like not discouraged of killing him from there. So Leroy will later say, well, quote, about a conversation he had with Pat, quote, well, we had a long conversation about what was going to be done and how it was going to be done. I called Patricia and I let her know I was on the way, and she made arrangements that her daughter would just be out of the house and Fred would be the only one home. Pat told me I should make it look like a car broke down and call Fred and have him come out. So that's the plan that they're going to try to do. He has none of these plans are great plans, by the way. They're all just kind of on the fly.
Yeah.
I don't see a lot of diagrams, not a lot of master planning. So April 23rd, 1991, Leroy speaks with Pat again, and they made arrangements that it's going to go down in a couple days. We're going to figure this out. So April 25th, 1991, Fred is reported missing that morning by his wife and daughter.
Okay. Patty.
He's gone.
On the phone. Mm-hmm.
Fred's gone. Now, the last time they saw him was about 7:45 the night before, when his daughter left the house for a few hours. She saw him. She returned, and Pat was doing some real estate thing, some seminar or something.
Sure.
When she returned, the daughter, after 10, her dad wasn't there.
Oh.
So Fred, and she was teaching that night. She had a class, Pat. So the only people home were Fred and the daughter. Daughter leaves. Fred's home. See you later. So
At 10, no Fred.
No Fred. 5:45 a.m., when he still wasn't home, they called the cops and reported him missing. About 4 hours later, a 911 call comes into the sheriff's office. A road crew was out there, like cleaning shit, and they noticed that a dead body was found on the side of the road.
9 a.m.
Highway 68 in a ditch alongside the road, face down.
Oh, boy.
Yep. A red sweatshirt was wrapped around the victim's right arm for some reason.
Is that all?
And a pool of blood surrounding the head. Obviously.
He's wearing nothing but a sweater around his wrist?
He's got clothes on, but there's
okay.
also a red sweatshirt like wrapped around his arm.
Oh, got it. Yeah, he was taking it off. Okay.
Yeah. So it's on the side of the road. It's a heavily traveled road, too. It's not far from the house either. His unlocked 1982 Mercury station wagon was sitting nearby. That's a ride right there, man. Oh, that's hot shit.
It's a lot of car.
Yeah, that's speaking of grease, like we mentioned earlier. That's a real pussy wagon, as they said in that movie. You're gonna get something in that.
Chicks of cream.
Oh boy, it's getting lots of tit in a Mercury station wagon.
What a gross thing to say.
That whole song is really filthy.
It's really vile.
And people just showed that to their kids all the time.
Yeah.
And go, look at them dancing. Isn't it nice?
Yeah, but Mo, what'd they just say?
Don't worry about it. It's just something about cream. It's not a big deal. It's fine. What's he getting lots of? Nothing. Don't worry about it. He didn't just say hand job. It's okay.
Pussy.
It's a real pussy wagon. You're like, what? Wow, okay. So the keys are in his pocket as well, in this man's pocket. No wallet on him, though, so they don't know who he is. They're trying to, is this Fred? Who knows?
Is there blood inside the car?
Only on the outside of the car.
Oh.
No blood inside the car. No identification. They look in the car. No ID in there. They run the plates. They're Fred's plates. They assume that's Fred since he's missing.
Yeah.
He's been shot 3 times.
Oh.
Once in the back and twice in the left side of the head. Oh. And his missing wallet thinks, at first they're like, looks like a robbery, missing wallet. But then they look and there's a footprint on his back.
Oh.
Like somebody held him down with a foot and shot him. And they're like, that's strange for a robbery.
Yeah.
You know, if he was trying to get away and someone was robbing him, they'd probably be happy he was leaving and just take what they got and leave. But this is interesting. So one of the county sheriffs, the sergeant, said, quote, obviously someone stood over this guy and shot him with his foot on his back, execution style. Somebody that's robbing somebody doesn't want to get that close.
Right.
They'd say, stay back. That's why they have a gun. Stay back, you know. And if they shot him and they fell down or they tried to get away, they'd be like, good.
Right.
Distance between us. Another witness who had driven by the night before claimed she saw 2 cars parked bumper to bumper on the side of the road, like somebody was giving someone a jump.
Oh, front bumper.
Front bumper. They said there was 2 people there. One of their hoods was propped open. Another person who lived around there said they heard 3 gunshots at 11 p.m.
Okay.
Now, here's what happened. Leroy Wenzel, he said they planned that he would call Fred at Fred's house that night and say his car broke down.
Yeah.
So Wenzel has got a Ford Escort station wagon.
Yeah.
22 caliber pearl handle revolver. Jesus Christ, this is quite the plot here. Wow. And he had on he kept his gun wrapped up in a shirt that he had. Mm-hmm. He is a mechanic, a former truck driver, and a, quote, drug-smoking drunk from earlier. So he drives 8 hours nonstop to get there from Alabama. He calls Fred from a service station and says, hey, my car broke down, all this shit. He drove to a bank of trees off of Gallimore Dairy Road near North Carolina 68. That's where we're talking. And he lifted the hood, popped a spark plug out, and waited for Fred to come. That way he could try to start it, and it wouldn't start.
Okay, but he's got he's got the hood closed. So, I mean, if you got your hood open and somebody goes, all right, start. Dude, you're missing a plug.
He had the hood popped, and he's like, yeah, I don't know what's going on. And so it was just going to be, when I started, it's not there, whatever. So that's what he does. So he, meanwhile, like we said, Pat's gone. She's at a meeting and everything like that. So he ends up, he's got a yellow and black sweatshirt on, by the way, Leroy here. They arrived there. Jesus Christ. Fred said, sure, be right there. Be out there in a few minutes. No problem. So he had the hazard lights on, Wenzel, and looks under the hood of his car there. And he's, they're talking about he's trying to start it. And so Fred starts poking around a little bit. So Wenzel then said, why don't we walk over here for a minute? While he's doing that, he tells Fred that, hey, your wife wants you dead. And then he takes a gun out.
Oh, my God.
From under his sweatshirt, right? So Fred starts saying, hey, don't fucking kill me. No. He's just begging for his life.
Right.
Leroy would later say of the whole situation, he walked up to the car, looked underneath the hood, and discussed what to do. Then I got the gun wrapped in the sweatshirt from my car, and I said, let's go for a walk, and I told him his wife wanted him dead. So Wenzel says, quote, he begged me not to shoot him. He started running. I fired a shot, and he fell down. That's the shot in the back.
Yep.
I walked over to him. I didn't know if he was dead, and I shot him 2 more times in the back of the head.
With his foot on his back.
His foot on his back. This is like a mob hit. This is cold-blooded. This is fucking cold.
Yeah.
To walk up and tell someone, hey, your wife wants you dead, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah. And
see that and run and then shoot him. This is cold fucking blooded.
Truly, because it's not like your wife wants you dead and and then him, you know what I mean? It's him saying, sorry, got to do this, man. That's fucking cold.
Yeah, I'm going to make sure you're good and scared through this process rather than just, you turn around and look at your watch and I sneak up behind you and pop you a couple of times. And that would have been
so much easier to be like,
that's
hey,
the respectful way to do this. This is not nice at all.
Yeah.
So, and then Wenzel said, then I got back in the car and drove down the road. He, no problem.
Done.
Easy does it. That's how he does it. So then he says, hold on a minute. I forgot I'm supposed to make it look like a robbery. So he turns his dumb shit ass around, goes back and takes his wallet. Takes Fred's wallet, so it looks like a robbery, and then he takes off, drives home. When he's driving home, he takes whatever he got out of the wallet, which is between $70 and $95, and he throws the wallet out on the side of the road. He threw the gun into the Coosa River in Alabama. And he tried to go home so fast that he even got a speeding ticket in Rome, Georgia, where the tit statue is, for going, for going 72 and a 55 that day.
He was moving.
Yep, that's it. He was going. Yeah, he was getting the hell out of there. So he said, I called up my wife and told her it was over, and I threw the wallet away. So they're investigating, obviously, and they said a lot of there's a lot of speculating going on around the police department. He said there's 1,000 possibilities why he left that house. And then they heard that because they were like, why was he out there? They found groceries in the car. He had a small bag of groceries in the car, Fred. Okay. So they said, okay, he must have gotten groceries at some point before this happened. So they were trying to figure it out. They notify Pat of her husband's death. They said, one of the cops said, when the detectives talked to Patricia, she did not act like she was too concerned with Fred's death. That kind of put up a red flag.
Jesus Christ.
At least pretend. If you're going to get involved in murder, at least go, oh, no, oh, God. Yeah. Don't just be like, well, I mean, people get killed all the time, I guess. I don't know. You want to buy a bird? Have you thought of an exotic bird? If you get one for your kid now, it'll probably outlive them. Who knows?
Come on in and pace my cages. Let's see which one picks you.
Come on. Let's see which one figures out what ethnicity you are or race and throws a slur out towards you. That's going to be yours.
The one that picks your race right is yours.
So, racist murder birds we have now. We've never had that before. So they everybody loved Fred too. Fred, They talked to people at Fred's job and they're like, never gave anyone a problem. He had no enemies. Everyone loves Fred. What are you talking about? Pat, though, they started being suspicious of Pat right away. Yeah. Pat's friend said this, quote, she, meaning Pat, asked if I had been interviewed by detectives, and I said yes. And she said, I'm their number one suspect, and I don't understand why.
And her friend said, yeah, I know. They asked me a lot about you.
So, yeah, since the only reason I know Fred is through you, really, what do you think we talked about? Yeah. And then they said about, I don't know, maybe they think that you would want the insurance money. It's just normal conversation. And quote, and she said, why would I kill Fred for $150,000? That's insurance money. That wouldn't even barely pay off the house and wouldn't leave me with much after that. So, I wouldn't do that. Shit. That's
a pretty good nest egg, though. Your house is
not
paid
terrible.
off. You have no bills. That's not bad.
Or you sell the house and you got some money. I don't know. Yeah. Figure it out. So it's a good start over thing, and she has a job. So the next day, Patricia meets with Dan Wright of the mortuary there at the Cumbie Mortuary in High Point. Cumbie. Which sounds like a weird porn with somebody in a Gumby costume. It's a Gumby Bukkake film. I don't like that at all. Cumbie.
Gumby and he leaks green.
Here's Cumbie and he's just covered in jizz. I don't like that at all.
That's what everybody calls those Cumberland Farms gas stations in New England.
Didn't they call that's true. Didn't they call his horse Pokey? Maybe that's why.
Yeah. Pokey is now Cumbie.
Pokey is he's made him Cumbie. So they said, quote, she made the statement that Mr. Brown made her live as cheap as dirt, and that's the way she was going to bury him. That's what the mortuary person said. I was like, whoa, that is rough. So a few days later, Brown meets with Gene Williams, who's human resources director at her husband's job, to discuss his death and medical benefits through his job. And she, upon learning that the benefits and retirement contributions weren't that much, she thought that she was going to have a shitload of money, but all of the stuff from the job is about $25,000.
Oh, no.
So this woman says, quote, Mrs. Brown made the statement, well, I don't feel comfortable to repeat them. And they said, no, you have to repeat them. And they said, well, she said to me, do you mean that fucking son of a bitch got himself murdered and that's all he left me? That's Jesus. Awesome. So, but on June 4th, 91, 2 death benefit checks were issued, totaling $143,307.25.
Wow.
Of which she paid her brother-in-law $3,000.
Oh.
Not 33 she gave him, which...
Well, this is 10% of what I thought I was going to get. So you get 10% too.
You get something here. So then a few days, about a month after this, Pat's dad dies.
Oh, no.
The commanding, I don't know if it's a real dad or the stepdad, but big heart attack.
Yeah.
So she calls the person here and she said, quote, Gene, this is Pat. I'm very upset. Daddy's dead and that son of a bitch killed my father. I thought, my God, someone has killed her father. I told her, no, I'm sorry. You've got 2 tragedies so close together. What happened? And she said, quote, he literally didn't kill him, but he might as well have killed him. He was so worried about Fred's death. Fred is such an asshole. He went and got himself murdered, leaving her very little money and making her father stress out about it. What a dick Fred is, right? How dare he?
I kind of hope that all the stress of this did kill him, because that means she contributed to her death.
Yes. She killed both of them is what that is.
Unbelievable.
She said it's all his fault. Wow. That's insane. So now she also, after collecting all this money, she sells her home and moves to Alabama and buys a double-wide trailer and continues to sell exotic birds. So it's now her and 50 birds in a trailer. Imagine that fucking mess.
Shit. She literally lives in a bird cage.
She lives in a bird cage. Imagine the cacophony of noise with the bark, 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 and the bark, 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 inside of a tin can. Oh, my God.
All
Kill me
day
now.
long.
So 3 years go by.
What?
3 years go by. They talk to Pat. She says nothing. They don't know to talk to Leroy and Sheila. They have no idea they even exist.
Leads.
So the cops, they have no leads. It's just this, oh my God, this poor bastard got killed on the side of the road. Probably pulled over to help somebody and they shot him, took his wallet. I don't know.
The man's got kids.
Leroy's having a tough time by now, okay?
Uh-oh.
So he assaulted his wife. He assaulted Sheila. They're going through a divorce. He attacked her with a weed whacker and then threatened to kill her. He put a knife to her.
Did he turn it on, or did he just like hit her with this heavy fucking thing?
I mean, I don't think that's much of a threat unless you turn it on and get that going. I think once you get that going, it's scary.
Hit you with those plastic things. Those will hurt.
Oh, they cut weeds. They'll definitely hurt you. You ever get your ankle with one of those? It's not good.
It's not,
He put a knife to her throat another time and said, I can kill you before anybody can get here. He threatened to keep her son, and this is wild. She said that he threatened to keep her teenage son that summer and turn over to authorities letters that would incriminate her and her sister. I'll tell on both of you, even though he's the one who killed him. Right. He said, that is, unless I get $5,000.
$5,000 will keep this going.
Why does he need that? Because he is wanted for owing $4,000 in child support to his first wife. So he gets arrested for not paying child support.
Talk about living in the here and now.
Dude, not even $8,000. We'll cover this twice. 5,000. So by June 94, he's been arrested. He's on the verge of suicide. Yeah. Okay. He gives 2 letters to his daughter, Janelle, with instructions to open them only upon his death. Okay. Only. The letters had handwritten words, only open when I die, in purple ink across the front of them and on the envelope. Here is what the letter said.
Okay.
Quote, I, Leroy Wenzel, was to be paid $30,000. I shot Fred Brown by his wife, Pat Brown. The whole thing was arranged by my wife, Sheila Wenzel, and her sister, Pat Brown. It happened in High Point, North Carolina, approximately 10 p.m. He was found in the gutter, face down, shot 2 times in the back of the head. These are sentences. He uses a lot of periods, this guy. There was a black and yellow sweatshirt there next to his body. He had a light blue jacket with a white shirt and brown pants. Pat did not have enough money. She borrowed $400 from her mother, who knew what it was for. She was also in on it. The mother knew about this the whole time, Sheila and Pat's mom. Pat paid me about $3,000 so far. I have to write this letter. I will not be the only one who will pay for what has been done. This is a true statement. My son, Mark Wenzel, knew about this just in case they say they did not do any of this. I told him about it. Thank you. If I kill myself, this letter goes to the Ploici, which is how he spelled police. Ploicie. Ploicie. Give it to the Ploici. The what? The Ploici.
That makes me think he says the police.
The Ploici. It's a Ploici, huh? I see, a Ploici.
Send this to the Italian Ploici.
I'm going to turn you into the Ploici. They're going to come and get you. I swear to God, they're going to take you away.
I'll bet he says police. I'll bet he doesn't say police.
Yeah.
I'll bet he actually says the police.
He also says Paschetti. So... July 3rd.
That's the best typo ever. He wrote it.
He wrote it. This is awesome. That's wild. And it's all in capital letters too. Ploeasy, which is he was like really means that a lot. That's hardcore. So July 13th. July 13th, 94, Leroy's arrested for failure to pay child support.
Right. He didn't get $5,000.
No, yeah, exactly. So that day, his daughter Janelle just gives the letters to the police rather than holding them till his death. She didn't hold them for 10 fucking minutes. She gave them right over. And she confirmed that her father also told her about the murder of Fred Brown and that he did it for her Aunt Pat. And here we go. There's the whole thing on a platter. So the detectives talk with him. He gives statements about the murder. His sons also confirmed, yes, he did tell us about the murder. It was done to receive money, insurance money, the whole plot here. They also, Pat and Fred's tax returns from 84 to 90 show they were having financial problems and all this type of shit. So they said, this is a mess, obviously. He tries to fight extradition from Pennsylvania, by the way, which is funny. Sheila and Leroy plead guilty. They're fucked. I mean, he's got letters saying he did it, and his kids say it. So he confesses. He is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off, second-degree murder. He gets life without parole and 15 years each for armed robbery and conspiracy to commit murder. So
holy shit.
He got a lot. Life plus 30 years is what he got, pleading guilty there. But the Sheila's not going to be too much. Now, the kids said they didn't even know if it was true because their father's a braggart and he does shit to feel big, they said. So Sheila, on the other hand, she pleads guilty and she is sentenced to, you, ma'am, may fuck off, 50 years in prison.
Just conspiracy?
No, but she just gets a lighter sentence because she didn't do the paying, didn't get the benefit, and she didn't do the killing. So
she wasn't
kind of
there, right?
Yeah, she wasn't even there. She told the jurors later on that she said they argued a lot and they were unhappy. I asked why she didn't leave him, and she said she would get nothing if she left him because the children are older now. So what's she gonna get? She said she wanted Fred killed. She was angry because Leroy hadn't done it the first time. Sheila also said that she was constantly trying to rush Leroy into doing it. Like, has he killed my husband yet? Jesus Christ.
Right.
Pat and I would talk on the telephone quite often. She asked me if he was going to do it and that she wanted it done, and Leroy said he would do it when the time was right. So it kept happening. A county jail inmate also, here's a bit from Pat here. One night, this is a Sarah Ann Amos, one night it was popcorn night in the county jail.
Yeah.
Which is when the female inmates are allowed to watch television and eat popcorn. Really? They do each other's nails. It's really just a real fun time. Somebody will bring in lotions. There's another one of those ladies that has like multi-level marketing dildo business. It's just a lot of fun. So this woman said it was about TV time, and I asked her what she got charged with, and she said she was charged with her husband's death and they had no evidence. I told her she should have a family member call the governor's office and do something about it if they had no evidence, and she said she didn't have anything to do with it. But then later on, she had this woman talk to Leroy through the jail vents.
What?
They're talking through the vents all the time, through the toilets. This is through the vents to tell him that he should, since he already pled guilty, he should just say, just say I didn't have anything to do with it, and what the fuck here, you know what I mean? Yeah. So now Amos, later on, they said, you're only saying this because she apparently had a possible 70-year prison sentence lined up before her and received probation for 7 felonies after giving the information about Pat. But another inmate also testified that he helped the other side of that conversation. He helped Leroy talk to them.
Yeah.
So it ended up being sort of true. They called Pat's trial O.J. East because it was going on at the same time O.J.'s trial was going on. And if you look up Fred Brown murder, you get Nicole Brown, Fred Goldman. That's all the newspaper hits you get.
You got Brown in there, yeah.
It's really fucking annoying. They bring in Mom. They bring in Sheila and Pat's mom. She said yes. They told me about it. Everybody, there's a lot of witnesses here. Friends say they suspected Pat the whole time. All this shit, man. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Clearly it was her. She teaches her birds weird words.
Yeah, look at that. Look at her bird. all these good things about Fred. He was a role model. He's he's kind-hearted, gentle, a good Christian man, all these wonderful quotes.
I think it did kill her dad. I think Mom divulged the information to him, and it
probably, oh my God, all these people killed this nice man. This is crazy. So the prosecutor in the closing said she was grieving and, she acted like she was grieving and she wasn't grieving, and she's cold-blooded, and she's talking about, life insurance. Yeah. Let's see, 7 men and 5 women in the jury, 7 women, 5 men. They listened to everything, deliberate for 2 days, took 3 votes.
Wow.
At first, it was 7 guilty, 2 not guilty, 3 undecided. And then it went finally the second vote. It was 11 guilty, 1 not guilty. And then a couple hours later, they said, yeah, sure, guilty. She is found guilty here. She faces life in prison plus 60 years. She is a diabetic with a history of heart attacks, and she said she was worried her legs would be amputated in jail because they would start swelling. And she's... Yeah, not at all. She said, if I die, I may die if I don't receive the appropriate care. That's her thing. She sends a letter to her sister, hands it to her as she leaves court, saying, Steffi, take care of my children always. You must now become their mother also. Protect them for me. Know I love you. Please don't let Mom hurt them anymore. Please protect them always and keep them forever. So there's that. Okay. Sentencing comes around, 30 minutes of deliberating for this.
Yeah.
And, she is found. It's first-degree murder, so it is a single concurrent term of 30 years life imprisonment for the convictions of solicitation and conspiracy, and life in prison for the murder. So,
fuck.
She'll be eligible for parole in 20 years, though. It's not without parole. Yeah. Okay. One of her, oh, my God. Here is a juror here afterwards when they asked him, quote, I think she realized her husband was tight with money and she wasn't getting any more than what she had already got, and she figured life was short and she thought she could go out with a bang. She just loved money so much that she didn't want to pay the murderer, and her eyes, they were all pupils, all black.
She's a shark.
Another juror said, look at the telephone records. They had a lot of stuff. Yeah. That was what they said. January 2001, Sheila is released out on parole. 10 years she did. That's it. Not even. 5 years she did. 5 years. January 2002, Pat dies in prison at 53.
53 years old.
53.
Holy shit.
She's a twat. She deserved that. That's
she didn't
an asshole.
Get shit.
No, she got nothing. Not even birds. 2011, Sheila is off parole. She's good. October 2022, Leroy here, who's serving life without. North Carolina abolished for parole for crimes like this in October of 1994, but the crime happened in 91. The sentencing happened after that. So instead, they're going to chop that down. December 31st, 2022, Leroy is released from prison. He's out there.
On New Year's Eve, new year, new me.
New year, new me, 79-year-old Leroy. And that is High Point, North Carolina, everybody. Watch your racist murder birds. They can be bad. Holy shit. If you like that show, very quickly to go through this at the end. If you like that show, get on whatever app you're listening on. Give us 5 stars. Helps drive us up the charts. Head over to shutupandgivememurder.com right now. April 20th, virtual live show, just like a live show, but right in your living room. I'm getting Jimmie stoned and making him fucking giggle, baby. Let's do it. Rest of the tickets for the regular live shows for the rest of the year on sale. New shows announced. God damn it. We have Boston. We have Dallas at a big venue. Chicago, get in there, get your tickets. Everybody get your tickets. March 3rd. Get all those tickets. Shutupandgivememurder.com. Follow us on social media at Small Town Murder on Instagram, Small Town Pod on Facebook, at Murder Small on Twitter. Do that. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports. $5 gets you everything. Whole back catalog. 2 new episodes every other week. Crime and Sports this week. And 1, the documentary, The Brand, How to Turn to Shit. We'll find out. Small Town Murder. Sex in Jonestown. Think it's a good idea for one person to control the fucking of 1,000? No way. Weird stuff happens. It's going to be in your butt. That'll be there too. We can't wait. Patreon.com/crime and sports. And you get a shout out at the end of the regular show during the week. If you want to follow us on social media, very easily, shutupandgivememurder.com. While you're getting your tickets, you can follow those links. Follow everything right now. Keep coming back. And until next week, everybody, it's been our pleasure. If you like Small Town Murder, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. I'm going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles,
a big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud,
sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.